Hello and welcome to Simply Cooking. Today we are celebrating Valentine's Day. Our last show we worked on a Valentine's Day dessert, which was our strawberry chocolate mousse. I hope you guys got the recipe on Facebook, on our Facebook page, Simply Cooking FSU. So today we are going to be finishing the meal by doing a fozzoto, which is a play on risotto. And instead of using short grain rice, traditionally made with risotto, we're going to be using orzo noodles instead. So what we got started already, I went ahead and started heating up my chicken broth. So this is nice and bubbly. And we're going to move that over into my pitcher here. And I love this pitcher because it has the measuring on the side. It lets me know how much liquid I'm using. So we're going to take this and we're just going to pour this right into the pitcher. Okay. And it's perfectly measured because we're going to need about 2 cups of liquid. And the next step we're going to take, I'm going to actually move this over here. The next step that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to saute some shallots. So I'm going to add a little bit of oil to our pan. Now the goal is to make this a one-pan meal. Whenever you add your oil, make sure you use a hot pan. So our pan is already nice and beautifully heated from our broth. So you can kind of hear that sizzle. Can y'all hear the sizzle? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our shallots. Shallots is like a more mild onion, and they're really, really small. You can find this at any grocery store. It's usually in the same section with onions and garlic. They're all alums. So we're going to cook this down until the shallots are nice and tender. And shallots, because, you know, it's a little bit sweeter and lighter, it's going to cook down relatively quickly. And to the shallots, we're going to add mushroom. Now, this is our mushroom and lemon fozzoto. So we're going to add these mushrooms in here. And they're going to help with the richness of our dish. And you see how the mushrooms go ahead and like absorb the oil. I'm going to add a little bit of the salt so we can render some more deliciousness in there. And move this all around. It's funny, earlier I was talking to a few of the people that are helping us today on Simply Cooking, and I asked, you know, mushrooms are one of those things, mushrooms and onions and shallots, one of those things that not everybody is a fan of it. And it was funny hearing the responses. But mushrooms is a wonderful ingredient to use because mushrooms is kind of like a little delicious sponge. It just absorbs all the flavors of whatever you're cooking. So if you want to add some flavor, some meatiness without actual meat, mushrooms is a very good go-to ingredient. And I'm making sure I cook it with my shallots because I want the mushrooms to absorb that shallot flavor, and then it can spread it throughout the dish. And we just want to cook this down until the shallots and the mushrooms are good and tender. You can see it kind of browns a little bit slightly. We don't want to cook it too much. This is perfect. Perfect, perfect. So now I'm going to add a little bit more oil to my pan. And I'm going to add my risotto. Well, this is not risotto. These are my orzo noodles. And orzo noodles kind of looks like little grains of rice, but it's actually 100% noodles. You can find this in the pasta aisle. So we're going to go ahead and add our delicious orzo. And the goal for us is we want to get our risotto to toast up. And by it being nice and toasty, it'll cook more evenly. And it'll cook so it's kind of like those short grains of rice that you find in a traditional risotto. The reason why we're using orzo is because orzo cooks a lot faster. Usually risotto takes about 20 to 25 minutes, but today this should take about 10 minutes. So we want to cook it down until we can toast it a little bit. I'm actually going to turn the heat up. Now we're cooking this on medium-high heat. I'm gonna cook this down a little bit and see it's starting to get toasty. You can kind of see it. It's well coated with the oil. Starting to see a little bit of the browning of the orzo, which is perfect. And a little browning of the orzo. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful. So the next part we're going to do is we're actually going to add our delicious chicken broth. You see the steam coming off of it? The best way to do this is make sure your broth is nice and heated. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And that's what we want. And we're going to cover this. Now, usually you do a 2-to-1 ratio. So for every cup of orzo we put in here, we're going to add 2 cups of broth. Now, you could use heated water, but why? Why do that? We want to have as much flavor as we possibly can in our faux zoto, okay? So the next thing we're going to work on is we're going to work on a punch. While that is cooking, we're going to do a lemonade while that's going. So here we go. We're going to actually take our lemon, and we're going to take the zest of the lemon, and we're going to put it in our pitcher. Now, in the pitcher, I already have frozen mixed berries. So this is like strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, raspberries have already been added. So we're using the beautiful zest. Look at that zest. You see the oils coming off of the lemon? That is what we need to add to our flavor in this drink. Now, if you want to be naughty, you could add a little bit of adult beverage in here, but today we are not going to be doing that. We're going to keep it easy and family friendly. So I'm just going to use the zest of 1 lemon, and then we're going to just take the juice from the lemon. And I'm going to use about 3 lemons in this pitcher. And it's so important to invest in a good juicer. It makes your life so much easier rather than squeezing lemons by hand. It's just like all this hard work for no reason. You know, make this easy for yourself. I'm gonna turn this heat down because we want this to simmer. We don't want it to cook really fast. Ooh, there goes the lemon juice. This is a juicy lemon. So we're gonna add this next lemon. Just squeeze it in there. And I love this because, you know, the seed is still in the skin. That also makes things a lot easier. Okay. We want all the juices to get in there. Add that lightness to our lemonade. These are some juicy lemons. So we're going to add this, and then after we get our last little bit of lemon, we are going to add our sugar right on top. And we're going to muddle it a little bit. Now I'm checking on my faux zoto, and it's coming along really nicely. And like I said, our faux zoto doesn't take as long as a traditional risotto. So there we go. We got our regular juices. Now, I wouldn't recommend putting the whole lemon in there because of the pith. It'll make it taste a little bitter. So we just want the zest from the lemon to add to the flavor. So now we're going to add some of this sugar. Let me check on that. Okay, it's coming along. We're going to add our sugar. And this is about half a cup of sugar. And we're going to muddle it a little bit. And we want to muddle it until it becomes a little bit of a syrup. And you kind of see the syrup happening right here. See how beautiful that is? And then we're going to go ahead, we're going to add our water. And we didn't lose any of our colors. We still have that beautiful color. The lemon helps, the citrus in the lemon actually helps to make it even brighter. So we're going to stir this up. And here we go. And here is our delicious and beautiful lemonade. Doesn't that look beautiful? We're going to enjoy that with our yummy fozzoto. And now let's check on our fozzoto. What did I say? It did not take long at all. And so here comes the next pivotal part, the part where we have to make sure we have the creaminess. So we're going to add our cream cheese. I'm going to spread that in there. Melt that down. And look at that. See how that cream cheese is starting to break down? And that's just a little secret ingredient. You don't have to use it, but I like to use it to add to the richness because we want it to be good and rich and delicious. So we're adding that, and we're going to add our mozzarella cheese. Mozzarella. If you're lactose intolerant, you might want to look at a different alternative because this is going to be very cheesy and very delicious. And I'm going to add a little bit more of our broth so it can help with our creaminess. We're going to just stir this around. Look at that. See how beautiful that's coming together? Our fozzoto is coming gorgeously together. We're going to turn the heat down just a touch. And our last thing that we're going to add in here is our lemon. And the first thing we want to do, we want to roll our lemon and we want to add a little bit of our zest because, you know, it's very rich with all the broth and the cheese. So we want to cut a little bit of that richness with the citrus of a good lemon. And we're going to add some of the lemon juice. I'm just going to use 1/2 of the lemon. Just 1 little half of the lemon. We're going to stir this. And there you go. Beautiful and delicious fozzoto. And let's add some of this Parmesan cheese to go right on top. A little bit more of that zest. There you go. And that is our mushroom and lemon fozzoto. Now I'm going to actually get a nibble of it. I get some of that mushroom. Okay. Here we go. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Now, if you want to get this recipe, go to our Facebook page, Simply Cooking FSU. Had a little bit on my lip. Simply Cooking FSU on Facebook. You can contact us at simplycookingfsu@gmail.com. And remember to simply cook. Thank you.